question, will you take the Nepal way or Madagascar way? Because Madagascar just took back their power few days ago, and I just want to hear from you. What's your take? Will you consider the Nepal way you saw when some of these criminals were being dealt with by citizens, or you would just want to go the way of Madagascar? So, blessed afternoon. You guys have seen the headline. Blessed GEZA, he struck again. And now we have Mnangagwa scam that is runs amok. I'm not surprised because it's really raining for Emerson. He's heavily cornered. I mean, he turns to the right. The citizens are calling him out to step down. To the left, Chiwenga is on his neck. On the other side, GEZA is also screaming. So I'm telling you, is that time where we need to say freedom is here. Are you guests ready to embrace it? There's no turning back. There is absolutely no turning back. So Madagascar, Member of Parliament, addressed the issue, and I just want you to listen to what he said. Very exciting news for all of us. And by the way, there is no more SADC chair at the moment. The seat is empty. So meaning we are the SADC chair. You see, Africans have taken their power. We are the SADC chair. I'm just like, why did we wait so long to deal with Emerson Mnangagwa? Why? Why did we do so? Take a listen to Madagascar, please.
Exactly on the day of 25th of September, so 2 weeks ago. In fact, it was the member of the municipal council, 3 members of the municipal council of the capital city, who decided to call people to try to express themselves about the lack of water and power in Madagascar, and especially in Antananarivo, the capital city. You know, this is just the accumulation of many problems that have been facing the country since many years. But the lack of power and water is the last straw that broke the camel's back, as we used to say. So what's happened is that since that day, people tried to reach the place of democracy, an official place that has already been inaugurated by the regime years ago, and now closed to demonstrations. So people wanted to go to that place to express themselves, to be heard by the authority and by the world. But the problem is that gendarmes and police and military didn't want people to go there. So during the last 2 weeks, they were fighting against them. There were more than 20 people died and many people wounded. Yesterday, the military, as in Madagascar, in such a trouble, military, police, and gendarmes are combined, united to take the responsibility. But yesterday morning, the military took the decision to join the people, the protesters.
Yeah, and Mami, we also now understand that, now that the military has now joined this protest, of course, initiated initially by the Gen Z movement, one would say that the reports coming in are now saying that President Andre Rajoelina is now saying that there is an attempt to grab power. Is that so?
Since yesterday morning, then the military escorted the people to reach the place of democracy. And yesterday in the afternoon, the President of the Republic still said something official like that. But this afternoon, it is told that he just left the country to an unknown destination.
All right, that sounds like Zimbabwe. These people did not have electricity for a short period of time and water. Just imagine Zimbabwe, how long we've been sitting with electoral problem and water problem for decades. What about democracy? People being killed, abducted, tortured, violence erupted. I do not know for how long since the Gukra. When 20,000 people, I think in Zimbabwe we've lost many. So this means that we are actually sitting on a time bomb comparing to Madagascar. So if the people in Madagascar took their power back, I'm expecting Zimbabweans to do more than that. So don't be intimidated. All that you're seeing right now, forget it. Focus on the goal. Focus. Anyway, GEZA is out here again, back, and you reminded the people corruption is paid by the poor. 17th of October, let's unite and put an end to state capture, corruption, mutilation of our constitution. People as indifference is the best breeding ground for corruption. Agreed. When there's no unity, criminal thrives. That's how Mnangagwa has been operating. Divide and rule. So we are smarter than these Zimbabweans. I just want to say, some of you, it's your first time to come across the channel. You are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell. So at least every time I'm live, you will be notified. Don't forget, these are the most important and sensitive days as we are heading towards freedom. Let me tell you, there's no turning back. There is absolutely no turning back. And I also want to say to my regulars, I know you're here. Shout out, please thumbs up the video and make sure that you share in your groups with others. Let me tell you, they're after my head. But remember what I said, I'm not going anywhere. And the God that I serve is with me. So every move that you make, I know. I know, so don't try that one. With me, you will not win it. Don't even try it. Okay. You will not make it. All right, so the 1 million march is on the cards, and I want to tell you, we will look into this story later in the evening. But for now, I just want to throw into what's currently going on here. Okay, as GEZA has called a million march against state capture and corruption, and he also made it clear that we want Emerson to be out of the office, which is exciting because that's what we always wanted. Okay, citizens, here we are. My official appeal, that is GEZA. No to state capture, no to corruption, no to the mutilation of our constitution. So you read later a patriotic call to action, the Million Citizen March for Zimbabwe's future. And I'm just going to drop all the information in the description box because what I want is for you guys to share with others. I'm sure our groups are flooded across social media platforms, because I can guarantee you that's why you saw that they actually reported my that is on the other side of my brother, Apostle, right? Chatufer, they've messed up his YouTube channel. So you guys, what you need to do, so these people are sick in their heads. So what I'm gonna say to you guys, when you need to subscribe to the current YouTube channel. It's called Live with Chatufer. I'm also gonna drop the link in the description box for you as well. But let me read the letter that GEZA sent out. He said, "Enough is enough. Arrest Gananda and end state capture." Fellow Zimbabweans, our nation stands at a crossroad for too long. We have watched as the wealth of our beloved country, built by the sweat and sacrifice of our people, has been systematically looted by a criminal cartel known as Zigananda, criminal slash. They've stolen over $7 billion from our state coffers. This is not just a number. This is our hospitals without medicine, our schools without books, our roads in ruins, and our pensions rendered worthless. This is the reason our children are living and our parents are suffering in abject poverty, while a connected few live in obscene luxury. To add insult to injury, this grand corruption operates with impunity and protection from the highest office. In the face of this national crisis, our leadership appears either incapacitated or unwilling to act. The silence from the top is a betrayal of the oath to protect and save Zimbabwe. The time for silent anger is over. The time for peaceful collective action is now. We will not be intimidated. We will not be silenced. We are the soul of the nation. And on the 17th of October, we will rise as one. This is not a protest. It is a solemn assembly of patriots. We call upon every Zimbabwean from Harare, Bulawayo, from Mutare, Victoria Falls, from the diaspora in spirit to join Million Citizen March in Harare. So it means we're also going to be up in arms, against this regime. Our demands are clear and just. Immediate arrest and prosecution. We demand the immediate unconditional arrest and protection of Zigananda and all their accomplices for grand corruption and state capture. Accountability and transparency. We insist that every public office bearer will be held accountable. We demand a full independent audit of all public funds and natural resource contracts. Restore the rule of law. We advocate for the absolute upholding of our constitution. The law must be applied equally to all citizens without fear or favor. Protect our security forces. We call on our armed forces and police to remember their constitutional duty to protect the people, not the corrupt. Stand with your fellow citizens as we exercise our democratic right. to peaceful assembly. So remember, this is an issue of patriotism. So whether you're a police guy, an army guy, we're all going to stand with the people to protect the country from the corruption that is at hand. So join us at Mugabe Square. Let your presence be the voice. Bring your Zimbabwean flag. Bring your water. Bring your courage and your conviction. Come peacefully with dignity and purpose. This is our moment to reclaim our destiny. Let us stand shoulder to shoulder, not as political parties or tribes, but as Zimbabweans demanding a better future for ourselves and our children. Together we can take back our country. Together we can end the looting. Together we can build a Zimbabwe free from corruption and state capture. See you on the 17th. Let the world hear your voice. Your comrade, Blessed GEZA. So we are in. People from Malawi were asking questions. That was Mazwange Ndava who said, Comrade GEZA, I didn't hear about other provinces on the demonstration. I believe if this is done in all cities, it can be massive. It can be a massive thing. My thoughts. Like I said, all cities across Zimbabwe, I encourage you to stand up and stand against the corruption and the brutality of Emerson Mnangagwa. And the Bulawayo people are going to attend the march as well. You definitely going to be seeing more information as we move along. We're getting close. How many days to go? I think 4 days to go. Okay. I think in terms like this, one of my mom, she knows that I would be saying, God, I see you. I see you doing your work. This is God at work. And I see him. Okay. So criminals are desperate because the time to exchange ambience with prison garments is finally here. So Themba Mliswa, a hired gun for Emerson Mnangagwa, he's out here saying a lot of nonsense. And I want you to listen because he's coming out to say, please note that in 2017, that wasn't a coup. So if you are planning to do a coup, just remember that there will be consequences from the international point of view. I said, whom are you telling that? We're looking at Traore, whom people thought people would abandon Burkina Faso. But look, the world welcomed his leadership and they're respecting him because he stood for what is right than to leave the people suffer in poverty. So let's listen to Themba Mliswa, who is out here trying to save Emerson Mnangagwa. Take a listen, please.
Icho. Thank you very much for those questions. I think they're very important at this juncture so that Zimbabweans stick to constitutionalism and they have an understanding on what happened. I was very involved in that whole process, so that people know that the late SB Moyo would give me information. And if you follow my Twitter at the time, I converted it to being the People's Commissar. If you go back, whatever I said was happening because he was telling me what is happening so that I could put it on Twitter. So it was never a coup in the first place. It was a national consensus by the people. And the war veterans led this. And the war veterans then were led by Comrade Matema Danda and Comrade Mahia, who are still there today, who believed that it was important that there was change in leadership, and in change in leadership, there was pressure that had to be put onto the former late president. That issue was again accepted by the opposition party. The opposition party.
I'm so sorry. There's a lot of, you can hear a lot of birds there, but please bear with me. It's his background. Sorry.
They were in agreement. The late Morgan Tsvangirai was in agreement with this, so was Nelson Chamisa at the time. So though, and other political parties. So it was a national consensus, first of all. So it was never a coup, it was a national consensus, and which would be done peacefully with a match, so that you pressurize the president to then leave office in a constitutional manner. That being the case, the current vice president was in China at the time. And there was a report that said that upon his arrival at the Harare International Airport, he would be arrested. That brought in the presidential command guard, which was led by Brigadier General, then Lieutenant General Sanyantwa. He then did use those troops to go and welcome the president, the vice president, who was commander defense forces. That again led to a meeting held by the generals as soon as he arrived. That meeting is the one that then made them come to the table. A national consensus was done, all veterans, political parties involved, then the army was involved. So at no point was the army leading this. It would never lead this. It was a national consensus. That being the case, you remember that there was a statement which was awaited by everybody and a pronouncement that the president would resign on TV. The generals were there. If you go back to that clip, Vice President Chiwenga was there at the time, being the Commander of Defense Forces. They expected the president to resign. The president did not resign. That's where there's the famous Asante Sana. Asante Sana, if you remember that. He did not resign. So what made the president resign was him resigning as president due to Parliament pushing for an impeachment. The impeachment came about that Honorable Maridadi had moved a motion to impeach the president. I had seconded the motion. It was not tabled, but when this happened, we were spoken to withdraw that impeachment so that Honorable Monica Mtrango, who was from the upper house, would then move the motion seconded by Honorable Maridadi. I agreed to that because it was critical. So the party itself, ZANU-PF, was involved. And in ZANU-PF being involved, it was pretty clear that everybody was for it. The speaker, with due respect, and the credit goes to him, did interact with the late president, then Robert Mugabe, to convince him not to allow the impeachment process to happen because he would be then immune to being arrested, to investigations and so forth. Honorable Comrade Bonyongwe was the Minister of Justice and leader of the House. He was tasked to go and convince the president to resign. We were at Harare Sheraton in the HICC Center, awaiting. And the parliament had been sitting already with both houses. And a notice came through by the then Honorable Minister of Justice and leader of government business, Comrade Bonyongwe, a note which went to the president. The president said to the speaker, Honorable Mgenda. That's when he called to say, I have a notice procedurally. And the notice was read out that the president had resigned. So record must be very clear that there was never a coup, but the president resigned. And the pressure was from parliament. The army itself and the security had failed to convince him to resign. And that interview on ZBC is very clear. That pronouncement is very clear. So we don't want a situation where people have short memories. I don't have a short memory because I was involved in that. So it was a procedural thing where he resigned. So if people today are not happy with the current president of government, you have to follow certain processes, constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is you having to impeach the president due to a number of reasons which are there in the constitution. But they must be fit for him to be impeached or else they will not go through. At this point in time, that can never happen. I don't see it happen. Secondly, Parliament itself must also be ready to move that in terms of the numbers. The current numbers which are there would never go against the sitting president to be impeached. So forget about it. Don't dream about it. The reason why I say that, people are excited about people marching and thinking that that will lead to 2017. A river flows, but it does not really flow in the same direction all the time. That you must understand. So that will not happen. And I want to warn people that you are tantamount to staging a coup which results in treason. All these people who are running power structures outside the current government, that's treason. And I want to be honest with you, be very careful. You cannot remove a sitting president or a government through any other process other than a democratic election or an impeachment by the president, but also go to the powers of the president. The president equally has the powers to dissolve parliament at any given time. He also has the right to call for a state of emergency where no one will be seen in the streets. Fortunately, him being a constitutionalist.
Okay, apologize. It's not the we saw. It's actually it's Temba Mliswa's background where he is. These are the birds that are busy making noise. I'm so sorry, guys. It's not me, y'all. I don't know how I can control it. I apologize.
A lawyer, he has not done that. The president can fire anybody in any time within 24 hours. What is critical? What is critical? So one, impeachment is one, but it not work. Processes of removing the president from his position. Secondly, is the ZANU-PF Congress, not conference, where you vote. Are you with me? This is where you can take the president out through an electoral process which is there. What are the chances? Zero. He is in control of the party. He is well supported by the 10 provincial chairpersons who are the ones who are mandated to carry out the resolution of these provinces at Congress or at conference. But conference and Congress are two different things. Congress is elective, conference is not. So number one resolution of last year's conference will be implemented because ZANU-PF has got the numbers in parliament. Not only that, the opposition too has been working with the ZANU-PF to ensure that there's an extension. I think that extension, being a councillor, being a legislator has become a way of employment in Zimbabwe. Who's to blame? You, the people who vote them into power and so forth. So to me, a lot of things which are said by social media have been known that these are people not in Zimbabwe. These are people who are not on the ground. If indeed they're on the ground, the 31st of March protest, which was organized by Sekurangu, GEZA, and so forth, who is a war veteran of repute, I won't lie to you, did not work because social media is not on the ground. The people on the ground were not there, okay, and they are not there, and they will never be there. So the truth of the matter is that let's follow a process, join the party structures, challenge the leadership at party Congress, and choose who you want and so forth. But one of the things which I have to tell you today is that this is the last time, and I'm going to say this, and mark my words, what I say usually happens. We're going to have a leader from the liberation struggle. President Mnangagwa becomes the last leader, and 2030 is moving ahead. And why we want 2030 to move ahead is one, COVID affected some of the progress that he had for the country. Cyclone Idai affected at least 2 years plus. So that's where the extension is coming from. The extension is not coming from him being selfish or wanting to hang on to power. There was work which is supposed to be done. Unforeseen circumstances, they are called. COVID is unforeseen. Idai is unforeseen, Cyclone Idai. So those 2 years are what he is going to be given with his government to fulfill him and his government and parliament, because parliament has also come up with a lot of legislative issues which have got to be dealt with and so forth. That being the case, we also want a young person. We want somebody who's under 60 now to be able to take this country forward from an economic point of view. Who it is, I don't care, but they have to be under the age of 60. While our leaders, Comrade Mnangagwa, Comrade Chwenga, Comrade Mahadi, and so forth, are there to guide these young people coming through. To guide so that the founding principles a struggle. Because takuda guidance. You see, we don't want a situation where we wait for somebody to be out of power to mentor or to guide these young leaders coming through. They need guidance, whether you like it, but we need an economic mind, we need an economic brain. The liberation also talks about economic emancipation. You brought it to us, we agree, but there's no ownership. No one owns the country. So that is something from a generational point of view, which I must be telling you today, we need a leader who's under 16 and we need him to be guided. Never 2030 ikangopinda chete tinotarisa kuti vakuru vachafamba nevadiki vanenge vachitungamira and so forth. Chero vari mazimbabweans handina basa ndoda kuona vana vachidiki vachipindawo musangano and so forth. Inini hangu ndiri under 60 ndofuna ndogona kukwana pamwe and so forth. I have worked for this country, I have worked for people, and I deserve to also be given a position. But while I deserve to be given a position, I've never been given a deserving position. I'm also not lobbying for one, I'm not campaigning for one, but I would also like to be in the echelons of power one day so that I'm able to also bring about the change and so forth. What we don't want as a nation is a situation where we intimidate each other, we abuse each other, cyberbullying, and we believe in entitlement. No one, and I've told you, Vachiwenga, vakazojoina nemasoja later on after national consensus yasetwa. It was a national consensus. We zvakandirwadza ndezvekuti veopposition vamwe vacho vaifanopiwawo zvigaro because they contributed significantly to the Second Republic in terms of ushering the leadership of President E.D. Mnangagwa. So, as a village head, as a political analyst and a political guru, I will always support the government which has been elected. I will support the president who has been elected. Not only that, I'll also defend him. Because what I don't want is things to be done which are not constitutional. because the precedence we are setting is bad. Whoever is president tomorrow will be removed through the same ways and so forth. Impeachment, I've told you, is one of them. Secondly, go to Congress. If you're not in the structures of ZANU-PF, join the structure of ZANU-PF. Go to their meetings in the PCC, PEC, DCC, district branch cell, and raise your point through that. Tambiro Oko, Mozoita, but Paris, nothing like that will ever happen. I thought I would tell you, ndafara kupa masaisai zvandinotaura inini munozvipindura nekuti ndezvechokwadi handizere munopindura nekundituka nekuti chokwadi chinoradza. I still demand kuti kuconference kweZANU-PF resolution number 2 inofana kuitwa iye zvinezvi ndeyekuti machina neese ma-investors, they have got to be scrutinized. We need an audit on why they are here and so forth. President Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, is a stickler for things doing properly. Because we have a relationship with him, it does not mean that his people must break.
All right, yeah, okay. This is quite interesting. The Mutemba Muliswa is definitely Mnangagwa's hired gun. I mean, I've seen also Lumumba sometimes he touches and, but these people are fighting for criminals because, dirty money, once you take dirty money, you need to do the work. That's why I've always been a person who says, no, it's the right thing or nothing. Principles reign supreme. Anyway, so you mentioned the issue of the pandemic, guys. COVID affected everybody. It wasn't like a Zimbabwean problem. It was a world problem. But other countries, look where they are today. So if he's talking about COVID, that's definitely ruled out. Now you want a younger person. They're talking about a young person, who is below 60. Because because Chiwenga is about 61, 67, 69, I don't know, somewhere there, 67, 69 there. I think, yeah, it should be around 69 or 67, 69. Please bear with me, but you can always cross-check online. So he's talking about the age, but my question, Chamisa started when? And you guys blocked him, but he was far younger than Skisi, right? So if you're talking about, why now? Why only now? Is it after Mnangagwa gets whatever he wants? In fact, Mnangagwa wants to get into 2035. I'm going to deal with that issue a little bit later on because also they're trying to charge Jonathan Moore treason because of all the nonsense. We deal with that in the evening. I want to just throw into what Temba Mliswa is saying. The gaslighting, okay. They're using Chamisa for political game. No, you hear what they said. And the Chamisa is not part of it because in 2017, he was part of it. It's all dirty games. Don't buy it. It's no longer an issue of Chamisa, whosoever. It's about Zimbabwe as a country. There is no politicians, so any politician that will ever come that will be powerful than the country. We are in this mess because we have respected people who don't respect us. So Temba need to forget it. He needs to forget it. We are focusing on the country, not on Chamisa. Chamisa is a politician who's seeking political, political position. We want a country that works. It's as simple as that. Okay, now Mnangagwa is claiming that he's a constitutionalist. He wants to butcher the very same constitution that does not allow him to extend. Again, if he extends, it doesn't benefit. But no, he wants to butcher it for himself. Very, very selfish guy. So, Temba, again, you lost. And you also know that the chaos only started when he started mentioning 2030. Okay, people were waiting for him to walk away in 2028. But they realized that no, this guy is up to no good. Now he wants to turn Zimbabwe into a kingdom, so he needs to go. That's when they decided to ship him out. It's that simple. Now Mnangagwa again he's abandoned his role as a president. He's focused on protecting criminals. It's very clear. They're confronting him to arrest criminals. What does he do? He's actually rolling a red carpet for them. You can see Wikinoshivayo dining with Mnangagwa. So, do you blame the war veterans and the military? Absolutely not. And anyone who is against Mnangagwa, we don't. This guy is so disrespectful. So, with that being said, Temba, he needs to go. And again, you also know that Zimbabweans would rather have no one as a president than having the nonsense that's going on right now in the country. Guys, Mnangagwa, since he came in 2017, this Zimbabwe had never known peace. There's always fights. Fights of nothing. He will create chaos just for him to be busy. Because the guy, I've never seen a lazy person like Emmerson Mnangagwa. If I ask him, what have you done to the Zimbabwean people? He hasn't done anything. So, Mr. Temba, you are really fighting a lost battle. Like I mentioned to you, Zimbabweans, it's too late. And there's no turning back. Emmerson Mnangagwa is on his way out. He's heavily cornered. He can't go anywhere. The streets are burning. The information that is coming out is shocking, and we're going to look at some of them in the evening. Now it's in detail, the crimes of Anakuda Tagwire, in detail of Anachivayo. Also the issue of Jonathan Moyo, who is now being charged with treason for actually writing on behalf of Mnangagwa to extend Mnangagwa's route to 2035. All that we'll deal with it in the evening, but I just wanted to let you know of what's currently going on here, guys. You tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm going to make these videos short because there are people who are outside there who are buying data, etc. Because I've noticed that people are watching the videos across the country. Chiredzi, Bintura, Wanke, Mutare, Mani, Mashingo, everywhere, Zaka. It's all over Zimbabwe. So we have to be considerate because this time around, we need to make sure everyone, and again, people will not leave the streets until their demands are met. So don't let anyone fool you. We know exactly what we are doing. The mass action is going ahead as prescribed. No one else is going to stop it. Nobody. Emerson Mnangagwa was not in Zimbabwe. He is a public servant. He is there on temporary basis. So he is not the godfather of the country. So we put it the way that it is. It is what it is. Unfortunately, forget it. As Patmanema t-shirts are printed already, not going back. Good to hear this. Guys, there are t-shirts already being printed. Actually saw some flyers there. It's I'm excited because I cannot stand being in a house that is not peaceful. I am actually tired of the chaos in this country. I just want peace. That's all I want. Peace so that I can execute my duties and my purpose. That's all I want. Guys, tell me what you think in the comment section again. I need to go because I'm coming back again later on. I have to preserve my voice and the time and energy as well. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Share with others. Bye for now.